go through this journey together. Thanks, you too.
Oh, hey guys, didn't see you there. Looks like, I know this video took a very long time to come out, almost a month, but the fact is we came out with a video at all, so I'm really happy about that. We're still experimenting with this channel. I still have no idea what exactly I'm trying to do. Today we're gonna be having this conversation about productivity in quarantine. Next week, or whenever I come out with the next one, we might be coming out with something different, like a music video. So basically, I just want to talk about why we haven't been productive at all during the quarantine. I mean, some of you may have, but I know, and I know a lot of my friends have not been. We're just staying in bed all day, trying for the third or fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh time to start going to the gym again, create a habit. And instead we stay in bed, eating chips, watching TV, going through social media, bed till 4, thinking about our friends and family who have been doing this all the time, and why can't we do this? Please, dude. And my reason for that is because I believe that most of us have a fundamental misunderstanding of how habits are created. As James Clear said in Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And what does this mean? So say you want to lose weight. You can't just up and lose weight while those chicken nuggets and those fries and that whole milk and all those nasty foods like cup noodles are still in your fridge and your pantry. You need to change your systems. You need to change everything around you. Take all that stuff out. Take out the nuggets, replace that with like vegetables. Replace that with lean meat, like actual chicken breast. But for some reason people think that this is how it is when it comes to things such as your attention. Such as when you're trying to use your phone and you spend too much time on social media, you watch too many videos, you play too many video games. People think that if they want to learn something new, they want to do something, that they should just be able to force themselves to get off. Although I do see why people would think that, that's just not the case. There was a man named Eugene Pauly. He had brain damage, went to the hospital. The very next day, virus ate out his entire brain. Virus ate the entire portion of his brain that had to do with recall, his memory, and emotional regulation. So what does that mean? That means that he couldn't draw his house for you after he walked around it. He couldn't tell you what conversation he had about 2 seconds ago. He couldn't do anything.
No arms or legs is basically how you exist right now, Kevin. You don't do anything.
All right, well, let's get back to
But one day, he gets up and starts walking around. People lost him. They had no idea where the hell he was, and they got really scared. He's still married right now. His wife's still trying to find him. Eventually though, he comes back. People said, hey, what'd you do, man?
I don't know.
So they up and follow him on his walks. They follow him around the neighborhood. That's all he did. He just took a walk around the neighborhood and came back. They asked him again, what do you do?
I don't know. Not being alone? I don't know.
But apparently he used to take these walks before. And this was the route that he always take when he didn't have brain damage. This was his habit. So they said, hey, can you draw a picture of the kitchen or the rest of your house? He said no. 5 seconds later, gets up, pours himself a glass of water, comes back, chills. They say, hey, what'd you just do, man?
first. I mean, there are a few people who kind of, you know, lurk but don't say much, and then all of a sudden they're like,
I don't know.
It felt like they were getting trolled, right? But that isn't the case. What they found out was that the portion of your brain that has to do with pushing you to do habits and just do things that you're so used to is completely different from the portion of your brain that's used for your memory. It's so powerful, in fact, that it can force you to do things without you even understanding or knowing what exactly you're doing. And I don't think you guys understand exactly how nuts this whole realization is. This essentially means that the habits that you create don't need to be a part of your conscious decision making. Because of course that would take too much bandwidth in your brain. This is all without even making that conscious decision, as long as you put in the time and effort to make the decisions in the first place, at the beginning of your habit training. At the beginning when it's tough to do those things, if you just push yourself to do it enough times with the right mindset, then it'll just stick and you won't have to think about it anymore. It's like having a Roomba instead of cleaning your own room. Except you're the Roomba. You would go through habits just because of certain cues that pop up in your brain, like Pavlov. I would explain to you guys how to create a habit, but for the sake of time, we're gonna skip that. If you guys want a different video where I explain exactly how habits are formed, created, and how they are carried out, and how you change them and all that, let me know in the comments below and I'll create that for you. But for now, let's move on to the next one, which is willpower, right? So those are the two ways people want to get things done. You create a habit out of it, and second is you just force yourself to do things with willpower, which sounds really cool, sounds very heroic, but the point is that you have a very limited supply of it. If you guys look at a different study, there's a study, I forgot the name, but basically this study had two different groups of people. So what they did, they laid out a bowl of turnips, and the other one, they laid out fresh baked cookies. It sounds really good right about now, I want some of that. But basically, one group was allowed to eat the fresh baked cookies. Fuck yeah. And the other group had to eat the turnips right next to the fresh baked cookies. All right, so right after they did that, they had a puzzle to do. The puzzle was made so that it was impossible to do. This is where it gets interesting though, is that the study of people that ate the fresh baked cookies lasted way longer doing the puzzle than the people who ate the turnips did. The average was around 17-18 minutes for the people who ate the cookies. They just had so much more time before they decided to give up on doing it. Whereas the people who ate turnips only lasted about 8 to 10. They were just thinking, damn, like this sucks. I hate this. I don't like this at all. This is a horrible experiment. This experiment sucks. And I don't blame them, man. That's messed up. They're just leaving fresh baked cookies out there while I'm doing a puzzle, like eating turnips. So yes, but the point of that study is to explain that your willpower is limited. The people who ate the fresh baked cookies did not have to use any willpower before they decided to do the puzzle. And they could last so much longer in the puzzle. But the people who ate the turnips used their willpower to force themselves to eat turnips next to fresh baked cookies. I can't explain this enough. They're freshly baked. And then after that, they had a puzzle that they couldn't do. Like, a puzzle's already frustrating, and now you're gonna make me do one that's not possible. To bring this all the way back, I'm not saying that you should just completely avoid all things that would trigger you to force your bad habits or anything like that, because obviously there will be times where somebody will have that cigarette and you'll maybe they'll offer it to you, or maybe you'll be in the house again and you want to play games, or you'll be out and you'll be having to drink or do any of that stuff. But the point is that take the cigarettes out of your car, take the bad food out of your fridge, move your computer to another room. Alright, keep your computer in your room.
The point is to cut out bad habits where you can, so that you have the willpower to say no in situations where you can't.
But yeah, thanks YouTube. That was the video. If you stayed to the end, appreciate you. And on to the next one. Peace.